right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the Collab Review Session for encryption key reference tests or adding um, encryption tests for shares and share servers. Um, Thanks for agreeing to walk us through the changes, Gideon. Yeah, floor is yours.
Yeah, so basically, as we know that encryption that is being supported in this scenario is a backend. And so what we are validating in the test is the communication between Manila and Keystone and Barbican, and also kind of verifying the key that end user has created beforehand in Barbican is something fetched and used in Manila. So this pull request is created accordingly. It has a positive and the negative test. So in the positive test, uh, it's a single test to make sure that we are getting correct encryption key ref once the share is being created, because as a part of share creation the workflow goes through everything. So what we are doing as a positive test is end user itself is creating some secret, and then we are getting the UID of that secret, and we are passing that secret as the encryption key, basically the reference of encryption key in a create share request. And then whatever the output we get, we validate that this share encryption key ref is the one that we have passed. So whenever we create the encryption, share with encryption, we doesn't matter whether it's created in a share or share server, we store this encryption key ref with a share. So in this case, the dummy driver simply kind of written from the function. But the other workflow that we create a Barbican secret and then the application credentials, everything goes through to make sure that we are able to communicate with Barbican. So this is being validated in the positive test. Uh, and in the negative test, I have added three tests. Uh, the first one is that when the encryption is not supported by the share type, so the share type should be having this encryption underscore support of valid value of share or share server, or both the values that we have defined. So it really doesn't matter, but it has to be any of the valid value. So the negative test with invalid share type, and then we are using the correct share type, but we are using the invalid encryption key ref. So basically, this encryption key ref that is being passed in a share create API is something which is not created in the Barbican. No, so the first one is that it's invalid UID. This must be checked in API layer. So this is one of the negative tests, that we pass the valid Barbican UID, Barbican secret UID. But this failure is for validating that its UID is at least valid. And the third is to make sure that this is present in the Barbican. So here we are not creating any secret in the Barbican, and we are passing the valid UID. But once this Barbican, the Manila will try to come talk with the Barbican to fetch the secret from this UID. It gets exception, and this being raised as an error from the API. So these three tests are added as a negative test. And I think share client is no major change. It just passing the encryption key ref to this post request of share create. Yeah, for this, the configuration that we have is uh, run encryption test, which is by default false. Uh, but the changes that I think Sai has merged, we have enabled this. I need to check it again. Or I think here itself we are, yeah, here itself we are enabling uh, this for our testing specifically. Uh, yeah, so and now the final part is the implementation of Barbican. I think I had done this in a different way, for which Gautam has suggested uh, the couple of options. And so what I did is I followed the way it is in Octavia. So if you can look into the Octavia, I have also kind of replied to the comment. It does the same way, that it basically uses the credential defined in the Tempest run, and it creates the user, the keystone and everything, and then set up the Barbican client for that user. So it will then, so basically this is the function that is being called from the positive test, which does create the Barbican secret and return over to in the positive test. And this I think the UID function is just kind of fetch the last part. So
Hey, Kiran, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, so this is this specific concern that I had was that we could not be using the Python Barbican client within Manila Tempest plugin. But yes, I do see that the Octavia Tempest plugin is trying to do that, and I'm not sure whether what the concern over there was. For instance, whether they even had this concern. But my concern comes from the fact that Tempest folks have come and told us, in the past that we're not supposed to be doing anything like that. So we had done this even for like I think Lance client one time. So they told us no, that's not right, and they actually added support for exercising clients from other parts. Like you could co-install Barbican Tempest plugin and actually use the client from Barbican Tempest plugin in our own code. Um, so is that something that you went down look through at all?
No, I haven't checked that because it has the dependency of installation of Barbican Tempest plugin and etc.
Mm.
I followed uh, the way it is used in Octavia.
Correct. So this was my concern. Like I don't know whether we need some Tempest people to look at this. And I think Ghanshyam's out. He's the Tempest QA PTL. He's probably the best person to ask, and another person is Luigi Toscano. We can just copy him to your change.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need them to take a look perhaps, and because what typically happens is we merge this and then they come back and they tell us no, this is not good, you have to undo the change and stuff, and we'll have to rethink the way
So
we do
can
it, so
you
might
tell
as well.
me their name, maybe?
Yeah, sure. It's yeah, Gansham is
Gan-
GHANSH.
Ghanshyam.
Yeah, the first one,
Ghanshyam
and Luigi,
Luigi.
LUIGI. Yeah, the
The
last
first
one.
one?
No, the
Uh,
last one. Yeah, they could
okay,
probably help.
I'll
Yeah,
basically ask them to share their thoughts.
sure. Yes. All right. And the other concern I had was there was one test that I thought we could possibly have, and this was something that the NetApp folks kept asking about, implementation in the code itself, right? Like this was around coda control with networks and the encryption keys.
Which one?
Um, Coda control with networks and encryption
Quota
keys.
control. Okay.
So basically, they want to make sure that you cannot have more than one share server in a given network for a given encryption key or something like that, right? They don't want to be able to spawn more than one, and so they want to be
No, but we
Mhm.
we we don't have quota per share network. The quota is per project.
For encryption keys. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. The quota is per project, and for encryption keys, and quota includes as of now it doesn't differentiate between share and share server. So we don't have any
Exactly.
backend to claim that someone supports both, but
Mhm.
it's a generic quota of encryption keys per project.
Yes, I understand. No, my concern is that since they had this problem of not wanting to, not wanting an explosion of shared servers, so they were going to recommend that people constrain the number of encryption keys per project as well as the number of shared networks per project. And in this combination, you can ensure that you're going to have a maximum of X number of shared servers created with encryption keys. Right. This was something that they were concerned with. So I was hoping that we'll have some NetApp folks over here to talk about adding a test for that specifically, because that seems like a good use case, and enforcing a backend limitation via knobs that we already have. The new knob
No,
is just
this
that the encryption key is quota.
no, but this quota is not controlled by the backend, right?
Yeah.
We
So we want to
control
make
at the
sure that
money.
we are not breaking something and like exposing the backend to something that they were not expecting. So that's why we'll have a test.
So you are suggesting to have a test in this pull request, or NetApp will create some another pull request for this specific?
I was hoping to brainstorm with them if they were here, but yeah, I don't mind either case. I just need us to think through a test for that, because that was such a huge concern when we were trying to design this feature, right? So we want to make sure that that expectation still works fine and will work in perpetuity. So having a test in Manila Tempest plugin is probably the way to go in that case. And in this pull request, maybe you
So, but
should
I am
have some quota tests uh, generically about, can I have, zero encryption keys and try to create share with encryption key, and can I have one and can I create two and stuff like that, like the negative
yeah.
quota
So
tests that we have for the other folks.
mm, yeah, negative quota test is something I can try to add myself. But this actual quota check that is being correlated with share server creation is
Mhm.
something we cannot verify with the dummy driver.
We can. I'm thinking we don't have to go to the back end to verify it. It's just that it is still a negative check at the end of the day,
Yeah,
but
negative
you're
check.
combining the two quotas. You're combining networks and encryption keys.
No, but I don't understand. Like, why network comes in between here?
Yeah, let me explain. Give me 1 second though. Just give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. Um, okay, let's dial back. So my ask is that NetApp, for instance, cannot create an infinite number of share servers, and they want to be able to limit the number of share servers they create because, especially in this kind of an environment, because we're going to have share servers associated with encryption keys. Right. So their initial concern was that they wanted a large quota control, such that you will control the number of share servers per encryption key or something. I don't really remember how that was being implemented, and it was very coarse. And so we asked, I basically asked for all of that to be changed to simpler quota controls, where you're going to have an encryption keys quota and you already have a shared networks quota. And I was asking them to suggest using those in combination to get what they want achieved, which is they want to control the number of share servers that are getting created. So I would think that they would want a test in Manila Tempest plugin to exercise that combination, such that they can make sure
But
that
but
stuff never breaks.
but that test will come into the picture only after the CI is up, right? That
Yeah,
test is
sure. Yeah,
something
yeah,
that they.
yeah. I was just hoping to brainstorm with people over here if they were around and if they're watching the recording of this conversation, right? Like let them also take a look and probably they can work on a test case for that, and for sure run it in their CI And the idea is, I mean, the test would be generic. It would not target NetApp or something, but it targets a scenario that you want to limit the number of share servers that get spawned when you have encryption keys.
So basically, you are saying something like, let's say, set the quota value to the 4, then under the particular project, create 5 share networks, and then create a 5 shares with those different 5 share networks, which will result into creation of 5 share server on the back end, and ultimately
Mhm.
using the 5 different uh, encryption keys,
Sure.
and it will hit the quota, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. The fifth one should probably fail creation. So we don't even need to do 4 or 5. I just need to do one. Just made to make sure that
Yeah,
we can constrain the number to one and say you cannot create more than one encryption key and more than one share network, and see what happens when you try to create the next one.
okay. So do we have the implementation of get compatible? Okay, I'll try to, but then that won't be NetApp specific, right? Even with the
It's
dozen
not NetApp
driver.
specific. Correct. It's not NetApp specific. It's exercising Manila's quota control to make sure that you're able to apply a combination of quotas, networks, and encryption keys.
I understand with encryption. I'm still get confused why you put networks in between every time. The quota encryption key is per project. Now, in order to achieve and trigger that quota, we have to create a different share server, which is possible by having different share network. Otherwise, there is no need of having network quota in the picture.
I By network quota, I mean the share network quota.
Yeah, but how share network quota is related with this?
Um, You're basically saying, I want to make sure that a particular tenant does not create a lot of different share servers, right?
Right.
Using this encryption feature
Keys. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
a workaround, because we are saying
Mm.
that if you have a encryption key and with a share server,
Mm.
NetApp will end up creating the second thing in case you change your encryption key.
Right.
Right? So we want to prevent that scenario. And so
Right.
the way you want to prevent it is by using Manila's quota controls. And so I want to say, let's set the number of networks to be able to create it to, let's say, let's set them to one, and then the number of encryption keys to two. So
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to create a new, um, sh- uh, a new, sorry, a new two new shares with one with each encryption key, except you'll be using the same share network.
Mm-hmm.
That basically verifies. I mean, Manila will prevent you from doing that because of quota control, and it'll tell you that you can't do this because of this, because you only have, permission to create. Um, what is that? Actually,
One
it
share
won't.
network.
Mhm. Hold on. Yeah, it won't prevent you from creating the second share network if we said no. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it'll not let you create it. And the second one will. I mean, the encryption key should be possible to be used. Um, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like that the encryption key
No,
should
but
be
I.
fine to use, but you're gonna see a share that's set to error. Um,
Yeah,
because
but this
you
is
don't
the
have permission
validation
to.
of. But this is the validation of share network quota. Why we are caring about share network quota here?
The sole reason that they actually wanted to have a quota control on the whole thing initially, and we asked them to be okay with two separate quota controls, simpler quota controls.
Yeah, but now that is being controlled by the encryption keys quota.
I understand. That's what I'm saying. So you're saying that they will just tell their tenants to just use the share encryption quota?
My concern is that this pull request is related to the share encryption quota and should test the share encryption quota. For example,
Correct.
if I set the quota to the 1, I should make sure that I will not be able to have the second share encryption key to be used to create a share under that particular project. That's it. how it affects the shared network is something NetApp has designed or thought of while having this encryption approach. But ultimately, we didn't have network specific quota. So why should I have a test of shared network?
Hey, Kiran, I want to dial back. I don't know. I'm not asking you to implement this. I was saying that I wanted to take this opportunity to brainstorm a test with them. It's possible that they would be interested to implement it. I
Yeah,
mean, it'd be great
I don't
for.
know, but if they are, then I think we can ask them, because so far so good. A lot of things that I have discussed with them falls behind the schedule. So I'm not sure from their end. But
Yeah.
with the Manila verifying the quota is something I can add this in pull request
Yep.
uh, for the zero, and also like for any positive one. So from
Yeah.
that end, I will do update the pull request. That's it. If they have to have that scenario, ideally they should bring up the CI first, and then they can add the test that you have suggested.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let's brainstorm that when they're around, perhaps on a weekly meeting, perhaps or something.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Great. Any other comments or concerns to share? I don't have many more other than what Gautam shared with regards to this, and also like the quota testing, but also like as I said, now that uh, kind of requires some interaction from NetApp as well. So yeah. Anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, I think the verification parts just add the share server verification as well. So you are verifying the encryption key is set on the share, but you know that the share server's model is also getting updated, and also the API response is getting updated.
Yeah, the API response is already updated, right? That's the reason we check into the output of create share.
Correct. Can you also
With the
check
share,
the share server in that same test? If DHS is true, pull up the share server and just check the same. The key has been reflected on the share server as well, and it's the same key that you're expecting.
mm, okay. I'm not sure about the. Do we need any changes into the dummy driver for that?
No, I mean, you're setting it in the model in the share manager, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
driver
yeah.
is not involved. So yeah, it's just something that's set in the share server. So as long as the share is available, that means the share was created fine. That key should be set in the share server model.
Yeah, but the dummy driver has to kind of advertise itself that it supports the encryption
Yeah, that part
with
was
the share
added.
server.
We've merged that change, isn't it?
No, we merged the change, but we I need to check whether we have dummy driver reporting that thing or not. Encryption support.
You might be able to find that in the logs in the CI run over here itself. But the
Yeah,
other
dummy driver support the share server. So yeah, that is possible. It
okay,
advertises
and
share server.
And the other thing with this broad config option that you had, the run encryption tests, typically we've done two. And the reason is this. I mean, it's not just that you want to run the encryption tests, but also what kind of encryption, right? We do have two types of encryption. Although there's just one today, Tempest is branchless. We're assuming that we run the same test next release and some other kind of encryption comes up, the share encryption comes up. So you would have to end up changing the Tempest code to accommodate that. Would you want to just future proof that and just add the second option right now, saying what is the capability that you want to set in the share type that gets created?
Okay.
and you can default it to share server or just none actually, and force its configuration in the CI.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, that's all I
Can you
had.
also
Thank
add
you.
these comments
Yeah,
if
let me do
possible?
that. Yes, I'll do that, and I'll
Okay.
also try to explain the NetApp test that I would like to see. Let's see if the folks can comment on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
please
definitely want to
ask
make it
them to
sure
have
that
a
yeah,
ask them to have a separate PR creating the test for the NetApp.
yes, for sure. Thanks.
Yeah. Anything else?
Not on my
Okay,
end.
then I'll stop the sharing.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us on a holiday.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, I work on in CST time. So
I see. Yeah.
so it's a holiday tomorrow in Germany. So I'll be having holiday tomorrow.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool. Hope you
Thanks,
have
Ken.
some rest
Thanks.
in the holiday. Thank you for
Yeah.
presenting. Thank you for joining and walking us through the changes and all of the
Yeah.
changes you've been doing.
Yeah. Thanks for the review and collab session.
No problem. All right. Let's hop off then, and hope you have a good day.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Thank you.